Here we are with Sheriff's TV at the ASIS Law Enforcement Recognition Dinner. And Charlie, another year down the road, how does it feel?
It feels great. Every year it's exciting. I appreciate my whole committee from ASIS Chapter 104 in Fort Lauderdale. They do a terrific job. They have a great support. We have the support of our spouses, but most importantly, almost every single law enforcement department in Broward County is represented. And it's phenomenal, the success that we have because of these dedicated people, and it's an honor to be able to present these awards to them.
I read some of the nomination letters, and a lot of the work that these police officers, men and women, did were truly outstanding, and I think ASIS deserves the credit for reaching out and actually giving them a night that they can be celebrated.
Well, I always believed, as being an officer myself for all those years, and I always believed that you have to thank the men and women in law enforcement for doing what they do, and also recognize their families for the sacrifices they make, and also remember those that have fallen.
The City of Sunrise Police Department is pleased to nominate Officer Cindy McHugh for Community Policing Officer of the Year for Chapter 104. Officer McHugh has been a member of the Sunrise Police Department since 2000. Prior to that, she was in the Army for 8 years, where she served in Operation Desert Storm. She spent most of her life serving the citizens of Sunrise and her country. During her career in the department, she's had 6 positions, several of which are roles that she performs concurrently. Officer McHugh strives to establish many ties as possible in the community, while also taking on additional duties with the agency in order to accomplish the goals that are set forth. Officer McHugh's enthusiasm is contagious to our fellow coworkers, which creates a positive work environment. Officer Cindy McHugh has been assigned to the Special Operations Section as a Community Resource Officer for the past 2 years. In this position, Officer McHugh works closely with all of the community associations and civic groups at both the city and county level.
It seems that Broward has taken the lead under Charlie's direction, your direction, Adam's directions, and really it's been a committee happening. Tell us a little bit how the national feels about Broward County.
Well, it seems that this chapter has raised the bar for the chapters across the country. And the chapters across the country have looked to this event to try to emulate it and give back to the law enforcement community.
It's fair to say they try to copy Broward's success?
Yeah, everybody is really trying to copy Broward's success. We have several chapters that are here this evening to see how we do it and to talk to us about putting it together and the logistics of it. So we're happy to help.
The Margate Police Department is proud to nominate Sergeant John Shaw for the ASIS 2013 Officer of the Year Award based upon the exceptional leadership qualities that he exhibited in leading a multi-agency collaborative investigation which led to the successful and rapid resolution of a child abduction investigation which occurred in June 23-24 of 2012. A little background on this. Shortly before midnight on Saturday, June 23rd, Officer Jerry Caliano was dispatched to an address in response to a missing person or possible abduction incident. Officer Caliano met with the complainant, who reported that her 12-year-old daughter was missing. She suspected that the girl had been coerced into leaving the residence with an adult male who the daughter met in an internet chat room. She recently caught her daughter communicating with a variety of subjects in internet chat rooms, and in response, she took away the girl's access to a computer and smartphone in an effort to curb this activity. The girl disregarded her mother's corrective action and continued communicating with an unidentified subject utilizing an internet chat browser in the family's Nintendo Wii gaming system. I didn't know either that you could do that. The girl surreptitiously created a previously unknown email address. The preliminary investigation revealed that the girl had been communicating with the unidentified individual immediately prior to when she was last seen at the residence. A review of the messages revealed communications that indicated that the unknown individual arranged to pick up the girl at her residence. The messages revealed additional information concerning the clothing the girl was wearing, basic information regarding the type of vehicle the subject was driving, as well as provocative communications that indicated that the subject was apparently manipulating the juvenile. At that time, scant additional information existed from which to identify the subject. Margate Detective Robert Kriplian was called out to initiate a follow-up investigation. He effectively gathered additional information after arriving at the scene. In addition, he called upon additional personnel, including Sergeant Shaw. Excuse me, Lieutenant Shaw. He arrived to coordinate the police department's response in the early morning hours of Sunday the 24th. Based upon the information that had been gathered via the preliminary investigative activities, Sergeant Shaw created an efficient division of labor by assigning individual leads and tasks to the Margate detectives. He also directed Margate Detective Paul Chrisman to call upon additional personnel affiliated with the International Crimes Against Children, the ICAC, and the Child Abduction Response Team, CART, task forces. In response to this direction, FDLE and FBI agents and analysts responded to the police department's command center, which Lieutenant Shaw established within the Margate Police Department. Is also included in response were a computer forensics expert from the FDLE. Lieutenant Shaw, I apologize. It's probably working, it's new for you too. He assumed the leadership of the abduction investigation early in the evolution of the incident. He plotted an investigative strategy and coordinated collaborative law enforcement assets that ultimately transformed abstract information into substantial identification, and arrest of an interstate child sexual predator, as well as the recovery of the victim. Under his direction, persons of interest were evaluated, abandoned if investigation ruled out complicity, and eventually led to the identification and apprehension of the subject. Lieutenant Shaw's team included members of FDLE and the FBI. They demonstrated efficient teamwork and operated with a sense of purpose, transforming tidbits of lead information into the identification and apprehension of the predator. Through their investigative efforts, the suspect's interstate travel activity was established, supporting the filing of more substantial federal criminal charges. The investigative evolution, which led to the ultimate identification of the offender as directed by Lieutenant Shaw, focused initially upon 3 distinct Internet Protocol addresses found in the metadata on the victim's Wii console. Lieutenant Shaw directed investigators to investigate, identify, and rule out and abandon 3 initial suspects who the investigation revealed were cleared of complicity based upon a variety of exclusionary factors. The team's efforts eventually focused on a 4th subject. Suspicions were confirmed when information was obtained by Margate Detective Al Banate at the direction of Lieutenant Shaw that revealed that subject number 4 had apparently been en route to South Florida at the time of the juvenile's disappearance. Detective Banate's investigative efforts also identified the subject's cellular phone. Utilizing global information systems technology associated with locating the subject's phone, the individual appeared to be traveling west on I-10 in Florida's Panhandle when investigators first started monitoring the phone. Sheriff's offices in Northwest Florida were alerted to be on the lookout for a vehicle that the offender had previously described to the juvenile as a silver Chevrolet Malibu, despite the fact that the vehicle's tag number was unknown. Deputies from the Walton County Sheriff's Office stopped such a vehicle at I-10 at approximately 4 p.m. on June 24th, Sunday. Inside the vehicle was the juvenile and a 30-year-old male who had been identified by investigators as Dana Broberg of San Antonio, Texas. Broberg was arrested by Walton County deputies. The juvenile was taken into custody by Child Protective Services personnel. The investigative efforts, spearheaded by Lieutenant Shaw and executed by his team, paid off. What could have been a tragic incident if a proper investigative strategy had not been initiated reached a successful conclusion in less than 24 hours.
Okay, we're here with Tammy from Allied Barton, and they're one of the main sponsors of this year's dinner. Tammy, tell us what it means for Allied Barton to be a sponsor.
Well, we're in support of our law enforcement and security. It's a support of education and enhancement within the community. And we're proud to be a sponsor and just help out with the event and support the community.
I'm on the committee, and I'd like to thank you not only for this year's sponsorship, but I know you've been a sponsor for several years, and we hope to see you for several more years to come.
We make our money to give it back, and one of the great things that we contribute to is the Broward County Chiefs of Police Scholarship Fund, which I'm a member of that committee very proudly. And what we do is we award members of law enforcement's children a chance to go to school and get a little bit of a discount. So with that, I'd like to ask the president of the Broward Chiefs of Police Association, Chief Ross Licata from Lighthouse Point, to come up and accept a donation on behalf of ASIS International, Chapter 104. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Charlie. And I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the Broward County Chiefs of Police to thank Asis and thank all of our sponsors tonight for putting on such a spectacular evening. We appreciate the great relationship that we have with Asis, and we appreciate your continued support. And we also appreciate, and I know our officers and their families appreciate the assistance that Asis provides in helping with our scholarship fund each year. So thank you all very much. We appreciate it.
Paul, it's great to see you here tonight, and also Crime Stoppers, and tell us why it's important for you guys to support the event tonight.
Well, Crime Stoppers works intimately with the Broward County law enforcement community. This is an event we couldn't possibly not be at. There's so much that goes on on a year-to-year basis, and Crime Stoppers is relevant and involved. And this is the kind of event where we just have to be and support.
And I know in the past you've been a member of the ASIS Executive Committee, so you're kind of wearing two hats tonight.
Yes, actually, this is an event that I'm very familiar with. I've actually helped to put this together for about a 10-year period back in the mid-90s.
We thank you for support both for ASIS and for the law enforcement dinner tonight and what you do for Crime Stoppers.
Thank you, Rick, very much. I appreciate it.
And at this time, I want to call up Dave Campbell, because Frank, as many of you know, retired and could not be here for the first time. I've been doing this in 11 years. So, Dave, come on up. What we want to do is also present you a check for your fund and say thank you and the organization for the many years of service you not only give to us at ASIS International, but I've also seen you at other events, and it's just amazing what your organization does. You're very talented, and it's just a heartfelt thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Gary, it's great to see you here tonight with the Wilton Manors Police Department. You're nominated. Tell me a little about what you did this year to get nominated.
Well, they identified some work that I did as a supervisor of the Detective Bureau and the Co-Compliance Unit in the Wilton Manors Police Department. Very honored that Chief O'Connell had nominated me for this prestigious award. Glad that we're here tonight. Many folks are going to be here, well-deserving officers, law enforcement officers of the Broward County area, and honored to be here with them.
Now, when you say code compliance, people don't realize what code impact is on the quality of life of different neighborhoods and different cities. And I know Wilton Manors, that's a big issue, quality of life issue. So again, you to be congratulated. We look forward to seeing you on stage tonight.
Great. Thank you very much.